Hello everybody, and by this time about 2 weeks ago I actually would have already moved house, but because I've got no internet until a very long time, I'm basically having to get a few things filmed and a few videos done back at my old place. But you know what this also means? It means that everything is Look! It's gone! Look at it's gone! I mean, look at it all! It's empty! I mean, look at the shelves, it's the end of an era! I tell you! The end of an era! And recently I've been having a little bit of a tinker around with Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. So can I please get an intro now? So, Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. Since this game is completely free for PlayStation Plus members on the PS3, and since it was completely and heftily reduced on the Steam sale, whether or not it is right now anymore I don't know, but either way, what better time to talk about it? Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons is a game that has been dissected, torn apart and discussed about how great it is ever since its release originally on the Xbox Live Arcade exclusively in August 2013. And so, yes, that nearly makes me a whole fucking year late for talking about this, but despite that, I'm afraid I actually can't add any more to that crowd. I actually do agree with them. Yes, I know, after all the hundreds of people that have been asking me to talk about this and the amount of people that have been, I've been asked to talk about this game ever since it was released, so people have been wanting me to talk this for a whole year. People have wanted me to talk about this, but I'm afraid I have to join the hundreds of other YouTubers and game critics that have praised this game to the high heavens and back, so if you're expecting something different, you might not see it here. Honestly, after playing this game, I am kicking myself for never picking it up all of that time ago last year, so you know what? If you're watching this video and you think you may be interested in this game, go and get it. The end. But I suppose a review would be a lot more handy, so for the few of you that don't know anything about this game, Brothers is a game that was made by Starbreeze Studios, the same guys behind the two Chronicles of Riddick games, and even the first Darkness game, which I completely love, and even things like Payday 2. This game, however, has a very indie dev style approach to it, what with all of the fancy art style and the game length and the story, and it seems like it could have been a very drastic risk for a company like Starbreeze. But unlike any of the other games I just mentioned a second ago, this game is a 3-hour-long puzzle platformer driven entirely by its narrative, and it was also made in conjunction with the award-winning Swedish film director Josef Fares. Before I go into the story, I'll just say that there is one major spoiler that I will warn everybody about before I talk about it, but honestly, I couldn't not discuss this game in the way I wanted to talk about it without using that particular spoiler. Don't worry, I'll warn everybody when it's about to, come up, so you can keep watching until then. So, anyway, let's carry on. The story involves, big surprise, two brothers. I don't know anything about pronunciations or anything like that, so I'm just gonna go with my instincts. The younger brother, Nai, is riddled with guilt and naivety from the time that him and his mother were out on a boat out at sea, and she ended up getting capsized and drowned, and he was far too young to save her life. The elder brother, Naya, seems to be the one that takes the most from his mother's loss in terms of maturity, and he also uses this maturity and increases his responsibility for making sure that his brother and his father's life are completely secure. However, because of all that, he is still very emotionally delicate and easily led astray due to his cockiness and his experiences due to his age. The story opens with Naya and Nai just getting on with their day, and then all of a sudden Naya rushes in to tell Nai that their father is critically ill and he needs his help getting him to a doctor. Together they manage to carry their father all the way up a huge mountain where the local doctor lives, and then he comes out and says that the only way to save him at this point is to get some water from the Tree of Life, which is miles away. And this is where the brothers start their utterly epic journey through utterly giant castles, icy mountains, blood-stained battlefields from where giants and trolls had fought, and other troll caves as well, and all sorts of utterly beautiful places in order to save their father. Throughout their adventure though, not only is it an adventure of intense danger and of unfathomable importance, but also one of discovery. The way that the brothers discover how they can work together, the way that they discover how to use their knowledge to help out all of the creatures and people that they come across in their journey, the way that they discover that the darkness and harshness of life is still following them at the heels of their feet as they walk, even after the worst could have possibly happened to them. This story is one that is driven solely through the emotional connection with the player, and the way that it does this purely through body movements and character behaviours without a single word of dialogue is something to behold. It's wondrous. Not only are the visuals and environmental set pieces absolutely drop dead fucking incredible, they are marvellous to look at, and the soundtrack is equally so to listen to, but also the greatest strength that this game has is that anybody can enjoy it, no matter what language you speak, and even if you are just watching someone else play it, you can feel the emotional connection in any situation at all, in any house, in any part of the world. However, that's all well and good, but this story is at its most emotionally incredible when you are playing it. And that's because, very much like all of the games from Team Eco, the story, characters, and everything emotional and heartfelt is expressed entirely through the gameplay mechanics. Okay, yes, the gameplay is pretty damn cool in its own right. What with the fact that you have to constantly control both brothers at the same time using both the analog sticks on your gamepad or controller, and also you can only interact with one button, the shoulder buttons, for each respective brother, and manipulate what you know with that very simple gameplay control style into the puzzles and solve them that way. It sounds simple, but then this leads to some very inventive level designs and real cool dual stick and shoulder button puzzles, which honestly are not the hardest I've ever had to solve, but are still incredibly fun to figure out. And you know what, honestly, I was stumped once or twice by a few of these puzzles. But when I was stumped, I was never stumped enough to just give up and put the game down, because I was so invested in the story and what was going on. How the game does this is how I mentioned earlier, through the entirety of the gameplay itself. Because this game weaves all of its story, its characters, and its gameplay mechanics as a whole into one. You aren't just pressing buttons on a controller to command a character through a story, you are a part of the story. You are integral to the structure and emotional connection to the game. And you'll also find that some of the dialogue lacking character development is actually completely optional and up to you. What with the fact that you can talk to pretty much all the residents that you walk into, or interact with different doors and knock on doors and talk to people and get hints and unlock special Easter eggs and things like that. And you can do this pretty much as many times as you want, depending on which brother that you use and how angry you make people, or how nice you make, or how nice people are and everything. But you can experiment with all of the NPCs and use both different brothers to see how their personalities deal with talking and helping the animals and talking to different people, and it's really, really, really cool. And you can even decide to just simply go over to a bench, hold both the shoulder buttons, and sit down to look at the gorgeous landscapes. Like I said, discovery is a full driving force in this game. All of these things work in tangent as you play to keep you engaged with the story, and I need to kind of explain what I mean a little bit more. It's easy enough to just say that, but I need to kind of give some more specific points. And I'll start with this. The way that the game does everything that it does is because it focuses and expresses everything it wants to do with these two words: mimicry and unity. The way that this game controls and the way that the mechanics work mimic real life. And no, I don't mean by motion controls and swinging a fucking stick. I mean by mimicking a proper real-life relationship into the control scheme. This may sound really fucking pretentious and ridiculous, but trust me guys, give me a second, I will explain what I mean. If you have a sibling, you will know that sometimes your relationship will be tested. There will be disagreements you have, there'll be difficulties that you have to come across and then try and work around. And hell, some people that I've spoken to can't even stand their brothers or sisters. But you know what? Either way, you're related. For many years you'll be living together and you are pretty much stuck onto each other no matter what. So you have to work around all of your differences one way or another and solve problems and puzzles any way that you can. Now, before I say anything, do you see where I'm getting at? No? Okay, I'll keep going. Similarly, when you start playing the game, each half of the gamepad corresponds to each different brother. The elder brother is the stronger one and the faster one, and he can climb up mountains and swim through lakes and everything like that. And then the little brother, where more cunning and obviously more nimble, can fit through tiny little gaps, is also much weaker and much slower. Working with these two brothers through the first couple of puzzles in the game is a little bit finicky and a little hard to get used to, and occasionally you may get confused and maybe a little irritated that one isn't catching up to the other, or that one brother can do something and the other one can't. But you know what? You're stuck together no matter what. See what I mean? And somehow you will solve all the problems that you come across together, and you will feel extremely satisfied for doing so, because no matter what, Until the ends of either of your lives, you are connected one way or another. The controller is almost symbolic to these two characters' relationships, and because of this mirror image of sibling unity, it turns into one of the most fucking smartest and cleverest games I think I've ever played in my life. And to explain my silly and perhaps, I don't know what some people would say, maybe pseudo-intellectual nonsense that some people may think, I'll explain in more detail what I mean with one particular point. By the way, the spoiler that I mentioned earlier is right here. So if you don't want anything to be spoiled, which honestly, you'd be silly if you wanted it to be spoiled, then you can click the annotation on the little TV, it'll be invisible so you won't be able to see it, or you can click the link in the description if the annotation doesn't work, and that will skip you past this bit to the end of the review. And if not, then we'll keep going. I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, let's continue. Yes, the point. Anyway, now, towards the end of the game, Naya, the elder brother, is tempted by a woman that he and Nai had rescued from a blood sacrifice by a very violent cult group of villagers. After rescuing her, she helps them all through the mountains, helps them avoid a huge beastly monster, and eventually takes them back to her cave on the top of a snowy peak. And the elder brother, being the slightly cocky character that he is and the age that he is and everything, is awfully tempted to spend a night with her after everything that they've been through. The younger brother says that's a bad idea and reminds him that even though it is getting dark and they are very tired, they have a very important task at hand. And obviously, the elder brother doesn't listen to him. Of course, the younger brother is kind of defenseless without his elder brother, so they go in and end up spending the night. But what happens after they enter the cave? The woman turns into a huge fucking spider creature that tries to eat both of them. Now, she is defeated by both of them, but in the process fatally wounds the elder brother, Naya. After a few puzzles using only the right stick and right trigger to control the younger brother around to save him with water from the Tree of Life, you feel awfully strange. Alone, like. It's almost like, well, holy shit, I'm only using one half of the controller now, and it's part of the controller that is usually not used in gaming to move normally. It's usually the look button. It feels so fucking weird. It feels unnatural. I want to use the left stick, but I can't. I'm stuck with just using the right stick and the right trigger. It just feels so disjointed. It feels like something is missing in the controls and you're not used to just using your right stick to move around. And that is when I noticed how smart this game was being. Yes. What I was feeling was exactly the same way as the younger brother was feeling in the story. He feels like what you do, but for completely different metaphorical reasons, whether it be for feeling odd with the controls or feeling odd that his brother isn't there. The other half of the controller isn't there. It feels strange. His other half, it's not there. But that's not all. You end up being too late to give the elder brother water from the Tree of Life, and he ends up dying in your arms in a heartbreaking scene, leading to a part where, still using only the right stick, you have to slowly and sadly bury your elder brother in a very horrible sight. It's a horrible part of the game. I didn't like it. Almost like how Big Boss has to shoot the boss in the head with the square button or whatever button it was. That is how it feels. It's all down to you. But that's not all. After all of that, the younger brother rushes home to get the water from the Tree of Life back to his father. And what's this? He needs to be able to swim across a small lake to get to the shoreline to reach his village. But he can't swim. His elder brother had been carrying him since the beginning of the game through all of the water that they'd come across. So you're sitting here and you're thinking, what the fuck do I do now? I can't move into the water, and every time I try to interact with it with the trigger, he just steps back away from it. He's petrified of the water. Everything you do is in vain, but then it hits you. By using the interact button on the other half of the controller, where the elder brother's actions would have been, that is when Nai gathers the strength to then swim through the lake. By using the exact same process that you've been using from the beginning of the game while the elder brother was still alive, Nai manages to swim across the lake, climb all of the mountains, use all the machinery and pull down the bridge switches in order to reach his father with the strength of two brothers. And he gets through all of it and reaches his dad, and what happens after that, I'm not going to say anymore. But the point remains. Just because his brother wasn't there physically, just like you not being able to control the brother physically with the left half of the controller, didn't actually matter at all. The other half was still there to use, and it was there to use to overcome and get past anything big or scary in life that would stop your path. I mean, holy shit. I know that I don't usually dissect games in this manner, but this was a bit of a deep video, and I'm very sorry about that, but this is easily one of the smartest fucking mechanics I've ever experienced in a video game. It's just, wow. I really did love playing through this. Loved it. It was an honor to play through it. And so, after tinkering around with Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, I will definitely have to say that this game is unbelievable. Not only are the puzzles and the levels brilliantly designed, and the characters and story incredible, and all of the different NPCs and characters and animals and creatures that you meet on your journey are wondrous in their own right, but it's the way that it all works and coexists with you as a player that makes this game stand out amongst most others of its caliber. If you aren't really into narrative-driven, puzzle platformy kind of games, much like stuff from Team Eco, you know, like slow-paced puzzle platforming kind of games, this may not appeal to everybody, especially for the length that it is. But for anyone that is interested in giving this a go, and from the gameplay you've been seeing, looks like they may be interested in giving it a go, do it, if not just for the story alone. I would go as far as to say I actually haven't experienced a game like this at all since Eco for the PS2. And I would probably even say that this game is our current generation's Eco. It's that good. It's intelligent, it's beautiful, it's thought-provoking, it's emotionally perfect, and even though the puzzles may not be too difficult and the length of the game isn't that long, and it may not be as intricately made as other games out there, this game is still worth every fucking discount it ever receives, by far. If you're on PlayStation Plus, get it. It's free, for fuck's sake. It's experiences like this that remind me why gaming is such an incredible medium for emotional interactivity with the audience, out of any form of media. And how, even today, video games can still seem to constantly surprise me, even after 16 years of playing them. Farewell everybody, and until next time, take care. Oh, wait, no, I forgot something. Basically guys, everything that I tried to plan around me moving out and everything, it was going well, and then there was obviously something that was going to be delayed, or something that was going to crop up that was going to kind of screw up my plans a little bit, so I'm just going to warn you right here and right now. For Sunday the 20th of July, there will be no video. There will be a video after that, definitely, but on the 20th there will be no video. Not only because I need to recover after SGC, but also because in my new place, the internet people that were going to install everything, they are going to get there a bit later than anticipated. They're delaying, they're a little bit delayed. So there's nothing actually I can do. Everything that I planned around them getting to my place earlier, but they're not going to be able to. So obviously no internet means I can't make videos, so I'll have to wait until they come over and install everything before I can start making some content again. So I'm sorry about that. Everything kind of screwed up a little bit, but as I said before, moving out is more stressful than I ever fucking anticipated, so I hope you can forgive me for that. Anyway, so like I was saying, farewell everybody, and until next time, take care.
Hello there everybody, and thanks so much for watching my review on Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna link you more videos, random videos from random shows, from random genres on my channel. They're all completely different, so have an enjoy with that. And have a look in the description for all of my social medias and shit like that, so my Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and all of that good stuff. And also in the description, me and the guys at GamesGrabber have set up a competition for any of you to win a PS4 brand new with $100 worth of games of your choice, so go and have a look at the links for that. And also I've got to give a great shout out and a massive thank you to all of my top Patreon supporters. If you look in the description, you'll find my Patreon page where you can get all sorts of rewards from myself. It's a great service, and you guys that I'm going to shout out, you have been incredible with your support, so I need to give a massive thank you to Daniel Carlson, Philip Larson, David Coffey, Ivan Strand, James Newman, Greg Black, Nick Marchenko, Zachary Lehman, Benjamin Peasley, Jason Norris, a YouTuber by the name of The Retro Gamer HD, so go check it out, Delmar Mullins, Kylie McKinnon, Yayan Tuffrey Jones, Mohammed Al-Sali, Tony Pierce, Albert Rodriguez, Emily Higginbotham, another YouTuber by the name of The Darkest Side of Me 101, so please go and have a look at his stuff, Alan Angert, another YouTuber by the name of Nova Gaming PC, and he's got some really great stuff, so have a look at him, Abdullah Almana, and Harry Gaynor. Thanks so much for anything. Sorry for any mispronunciations, but thank you so much, guys. You mean the world to me. You've done incredible on Patreon, and I love you all very much. And of course, if it's your birthday today or watching this video, then happy freaking birthday to you, and please remember to stay beautiful.